Alright, we are going to solve a question because the previous video we did a similarity theorem and the proportionality theorems. So now we prove we did the proof of these theorems, so and how to use it. So now we are going to do some exercises that will show us how to solve the question, will help us how to solve the question using this theorem. So in this question we're going to use the basic theorem of proportionality theorem. So when you look at here, we have a triangle. This is a triangle, and then we have a rectangle. So ABC, I didn't write it here, but ABC of a rectangle, ABC it's a rectangle, okay? ABC it's a rectangle, okay? So the diagonal of a rectangle ABC intersects at M, okay? So when you see a question like this, the first thing you have to do, you have to understand what is given to you, the statement and the figure, okay? So when I look at here, ABC, let's say A, F, C, it's a triangle. This is a triangle, okay? And then AGH is also a triangle. So now, but A, B, C, D, it is a rectangle. Now, what you have to know about the rectangle? The first thing you have to know about the rectangle, lines of a rectangle, lines are parallel. So they have a, let's say, parallel line, okay? Lines are parallel of a rectangle. And then number two, you have to know the diagonal intersects at the midpoint. M will be a midpoint. Midpoint, okay? Something like that, midpoint, okay? So in a triangle, when you have a triangle like this, these two lines will be parallel, this will be parallel, and the diagonal, this diagonal touch each other here at M. The M will be midpoint. If M is a midpoint, which means the distance from here and this distance are equal, this distance are equal, this distance are equal. So when you have a rectangle, all these distance will be equal. Okay? So now, let's go back to our question here. All right. Let's go back to our question. Now let's solve this now. So the first question, it says, let's write our solution here. What is the first question says? Question number one. What will be your answer? You can pause the video and tell me why GC is parallel to FC. It's parallel to GH. Why the two are parallel? Okay? The simple reason they are parallel, because why? Because what? ABC is a rectangle rectangle and the lines of a rectangle are parallel. So that is the answer. Line of a rectangle are parallel. Okay? So when the line, when you have a rectangle, the line are parallel. So that's the answer. Okay. So now, question number 2, and that question is 1 mark. Question number 2. You have to know already, we have a question where they say calculate with a reason the length of a dm, meaning that we have to calculate this distance, okay? The first thing we have to say, okay, these two lines, since this is a rectangle, we already found that FC is a parallel, okay? We found already this is a parallel, so we can add, because they are parallel, we can add this sign as they are parallel, all right? So now, since the two lines are parallel, what we're going to do, remember the theorem called proportionality theorem. If the two lines are parallel, we will have A F over GF or FG, because it's very important in mathematics. If you don't know they give you something, and the answer that you can find, or the first solution you can find, is better to use it. To find it, then the next question you'll find it will give you the answer itself. Because if we want to find the distance of a dm, for now it's impossible. So what we have to do, we have to find first of all what is given, what is simple to do. What is simple to do, since we have a parallel, okay? These two lines are parallel. The proportional theorem say AF over FG is going to be equal to AC over CH. Now we see what is the reason. You give the reason, you say FC, it's parallel to what? GH, okay? Then we replace, instead of AF you have a 20, instead of FG you have a 15, and here we have AC over 21. So after calculation, what you'll find when you cross multiply here, you cross to multiply, you have AC will be 20 multiplied by 21 divided by 15. So we have a 20 multiplied by 21, we divide by 15, so the answer will be 28. So AC equal to 28. meters. All right. So now, what come to the next? How do we find here? Remember, here we found already the distance here. AC is equal to 28. So what is the distance over here? Remember, this is a diagonal is equal to this. This is a midpoint, and the here will be equal, here will be equal. Okay? So we'll say AC AM is equal to A to MC, okay, which is equal to, because the distance here is 28, so 28, so as this side and this side are equal, M is a midpoint, so this is going to be 14 meters. What is the reason? M, midpoint. Midpoint. The reason, because M is a midpoint. So this is equal. Therefore, we will find that DM is equal to 14 meters. Done. Because all of them, they are equal. dm is equal to meters. So we can say dm is equal to, let's do this. We can say now mc is equal to dm. So it's equal to what? 14 meter. Why? Because point midpoints. So the reason, because of midpoint. Midpoints of what? A rectangle. Of a rectangle. So the distance of the side will be equal. So this is the question, how we solve this small question. So try to figure out, then we'll move to the next question. Thank you.